All right, let's now shift our attention to Ukraine, where in a popular Ukrainian television series, actor Volodymyr Zelensky plays a humble high school teacher who then becomes the president after speaking up against the corrupt political class. The fiction might in fact turn into reality pretty soon, as the 41-year-old comedian is now actually, believe it or not, running for presidency. So it's a comedian who will be running for the highest office in Ukraine. And not just that, he is also, believe it or not, the front runner there. Now, Ukraine heads to the polls on Sunday. The elections will be the first since the toppling of the pro-Russian president's regime in 2014. And the main contenders are the popular comedian Volodymyr Zelensky and also the current president Petro Poroshenko and former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko. If no one wins 50% of the votes, then the top two will face each other in a runoff on the 21st of April. But it's the anti-establishment comedian who's in fact taken centre stage in these elections and might just actually end up becoming the next president of Ukraine. Now, Volodymyr Zelensky is contesting as an anti-corruption candidate from the Servant of the People's Party. All right, now those are some of the performances of the Ukrainian comedian who's now running for the highest office in the country. But President Poroshenko's government has been marred by allegations of corruption in several scandals. The poverty levels in Ukraine are amongst the worst in Europe. And what is working for the comedian is that Ukrainians are now on the lookout for change and believe that this gentleman could in fact usher in some interesting change. Comic writer has promised to introduce an independent anti-corruption court. If he comes to power, he also plans for a bill to strip the president, lawmakers and judges of any immunity from prosecution. He's also made it clear that he will try to not default on Ukraine's debt commitments to the International Monetary Fund. And he's really upbeat about being a political novice, and is upbeat about fulfilling his commitments.
Это новое лицо. Я никогда не был в политике. Я пришел из чистого бизнеса телевидения и кино. Этот бизнес, в принципе, никак не связан с бюджетами вообще. Я думаю, что люди меня очень хорошо знают и очень чувствуют. И то, о чем я говорю, они понимают, что у меня не было до этого обещаний и потом извинений.
But not everyone is convinced, though critics and investors are raising a few questions. There is clearly a difference between playing a president on screen and then being president for real. If voted to power, then Zelensky will be in control of a country that is at war and in need of some fundamental changes. And he has no experience whatsoever of having held a public office before. But this isn't the first time that a comedian has in fact ditched his stand-up microphone for a public office in Europe. An Italian comedian formed a political party called the Five Star Movement in 2009, which is now, believe it or not, part of the ruling coalition in the country. And an Icelandic stand-up comedian by the name of John Nahr was the mayor of the capital, Reykjavik, from 2010 till 2014. The question, of course, is, will Volodymyr Zelensky join the list?